Welcome back to Download Q, episode 24, your new favorite place for all things Xbox and video games in general. Normally record live each and every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard, but this week has been absolute chaos in a good way, so we're coming at you a little later this week. As always, I'm Jocko from Badlands Backlogs, and joined once again by Mr. IGN Live himself, Kyle the Fish.
I was just there. I'm not. I take no responsibility for that event.
You were boots on the ground, getting dirty, crawling inside of eggs.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, no, I was did go to IGN Live, their E3 fan event kind of, it's been weird post pandemic, and once E3 went to the open to the public, I remember, people who were actually doing a job there and reporting on games were frustrated over all of a sudden you had anyone and anyone who could show up and just buy a ticket, and then they were also in line playing games, and
The
it just
filthy
made. I remember
casuals.
hearing it. Yeah, I just remember it. People talking about made it a little more difficult and whatnot. And then the pandemic happens and it shuts all that down. And E3 now is officially dead. And then IGN Live kind of comes in and does this event, which is more fan event than like professional, work event, right? That is Summer Game Fest play days. That is invite only. You gotta get an invite, right? You gotta actually be in the space and in the industry to get invited to that because most people are actually working and making content as opposed to, hey, here's a fun event to bring my kids to for $25 for one day, IGN Live, and like hang out, which I love though. I think it is incredibly important to have gaming events that are for fans. I think that probably is why we see a lot of discourse, especially on X/Twitter. It's different when you can go to an event and see everyone just having fun and just being super hyped for video games. And, they're on the IGN Live stage and they're just like, a new game shows up, like new game, and everyone's chanting new game. And that's all they're doing. And then they're like, gameplay. It's just dumb, silly fun, all for the thing you love, which is gaming and just what you're passionate about. So I'm excited that this event is continuing. It was a ton of fun. There was a ton of games there too. Like I played Still Wakes the Deep, which is not out, right? I got hands on with that, which is really cool. They had that available. Some other games like I'm gonna have to pull up my list a little later where I talk about specific games.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But a ton of little indies, stuff like that. I was playing Surmount on a Steam Deck, my first time holding a Steam Deck and playing with one, and damn, that Steam Deck's real cool. It's cool. I see why people fall in love with it really hard once they have it in their hands, right? Totally, I don't think is a needed thing for everyone, but man, when you have it, it becomes a necessity. Kind of like the Switch is. So overall, it was a cool event. It was family friendly. It was for everyone. They said all ages available or can come. And that was like the weird part though, because there were kids that shouldn't have been there. They were like toddlers and like strollers. And there wasn't anything to do for that, even though it was advertised as an all ages event. And like the room with the main stage, it was just way too loud for kids. Like,
I
and
was
this is my program director of a camp in my past career. So like, I always like had to think about stuff for kids and like what was appropriate for children and all that stuff. And I was like, this is way too loud to have children in. This is not like a family event, even though people did bring their families and there were games and such, but I just felt like that was a little weird. But I think there's an opportunity for them to make it also a family event, because I do think it's I think it's important to have community events like this. And I think if they made it a little bigger, got out of the Reef, they were at the Magic Box at the Reef in Los Angeles. Fantastic space, but small for what it was. But it was their first year. So if they can get a bigger space, some more panel rooms, some more spaces and such, I think it would be a lot better. This was definitely the first year, but I thought it was really cool. And it's gonna suck when it's not this small again. It's gonna get bigger and bigger, and I'm gonna always remember this little small event, which was really cool. On Sunday, I went to the Xbox Live or the Xbox Showcase watch party they had there. that was a ton of fun. So we're in the room watching the Xbox showcase, and I mean, it was electric, right? Like the fans. I had a person who was in my line, like when he kept jumping up and it was blocking my view of the screen, but it was just like honestly hype as hell because he was just so stoked. And when they showed off Gears of War E-Day, you know, he was filming and he was sitting there and he was like, "Oh, get him, Marcus! Yeah, get him!" And I was like, "This is fucking dope!" Like,
That would
you know,
100% be me.
I can't like I didn't see everything on screen. They were giving away stuff. So when they did the Fable trailer at the end of it, they're like, "All right, let's get some stuff out." And everyone's like, "Yeah." And then whatever trailer happens after, everyone's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." It's like it happened multiple times, but that's what a fan event is. You know, I could watch the trailer and catch up when I did that when I got home anyways. But it was incredibly cool. And I think that's what E3 was at one point. And being able to just be in a room and watch the thing live with other fans is so cool. So they already announced they're doing it again next year. I am excited to go back to it. I'm excited to see what they do with it, how they improve it. It probably will be bigger, and I hope they can get like more hands-on, more games to be hands-on with. I felt like once you kind of went through one lap, you were kind of done. You didn't need multiple there wasn't just a ton of play at the end of the day. But again, it was a 3-day event, tickets for 1 day or a VIP thing for 3 days, which I did. $60. I got a free t-shirt and a hat. That's like $60 on the IGN store right now anyway. So it kind of paid for itself, in my opinion, to get the free shirt and stuff. But fun experience. I'm excited to see what they do next year and excited to have you there next year.
We're doing it. I'm all in. I will go in debt for this. I will live out my dreams somehow.
I guess yeah. Getting out to Los Angeles would be pricey. I'm like, these tickets were cheap though, and I hope I really do hope they keep the price down. Like, $60 for VIP for 3 days is really low, so that probably will get to 100. But for 1 day, I hope they don't get more than 25 or 30, which they are right now, 25. I just think it's cool to have a cheap event for anyone to go to and just hang out and get a lot of free stuff and get hands on with stuff they may not be able to. So I'm hoping that keeps going.
Yeah, like you said, it's very needed right now, I think, especially having like the in-person fan events, because the online discussion about anything gaming, as we've gone over multiple times, is just more often than not the most toxic shit.
And like, for example, I saw someone on Twitter today on X posted, they're like talking about the Phil Spencer interview and how he said there will be more games going multi-platform. And the person's like, they said that and the crowd booed. Like, I was in the fucking crowd. Everyone cheered and it wasn't the biggest cheer, but it was like, you know what? Yeah. Yeah, Phil Spencer. No one booed. It's just stuff like that.
I saw that.
You literally can say anything on the internet and people can say, "Oh wow, that's true." And it's like, hold on, no, it's not though. Why are we believing media literacy at the end of the day? But yeah, it was just like, that is completely false what that person said, and it's being shared around, and now people think that's true, and it's like, damn, that's where we're at right now with the internet. So these fan events are important because I think video games and the industry as itself is in a very different space than what it feels like and what it would seem like online. Like, I think we're coming around. It's gonna be a fun year overall for every platform, not just Xbox. Though we are gonna be focusing on that.
Yeah, it's the live events are very. It's that sense of camaraderie, right? Like everyone's there to celebrate and be happy and clock out of the real world crap for a few hours and just have fun. Like, it's video games. At the end, these are toys, very expensive toys, meant for fun, and if they go beyond that, awesome. But people take it end of the world, most extreme of extremes, and having these small pocketed events to actually celebrate the medium need to happen more often.
Yeah, and the crowd and audience and people who were there were great. Like, it wasn't any of what you would expect. Like, I remember when they said they were going to interview Phil Spencer, you were like, "Oh man, that's going to be fun for him." I bet they're that crowd. And it was nothing like that throughout the whole event. I saw nothing negative. People were just stoked to be there. People were just stoked to be like around like video game stuff and hanging out and just you know, seeing IGN host and people just walk by, you know, and you're like, "Oh, hey, that's Sydney Goodman. Cool. Have fun working. You know, you do you." Stuff like that. It's super cool. So I think this is a huge success for them. And I said it before. I'll say it one more time. I can't wait for next year and to see how they expand upon it. I want more panels. There were some great panels. I want more though.
Listen up, IGN. He's got your information you need. Um,
I got panel ideas at IGN, so just
oh, even
hit
better.
me up.
He'll
I've
produce.
done this before, not video game panels, but I've done panels. I've organized it. I'll get in contact with me. I'll help you out.
He's the expert. I did see.
I'm a expert. No, I'm not an expert. I'm a something.
I had a TikTok come across a guy who was at IGN Live, and I don't know if it was like check-in or security or whatever when you're getting your ticket scanned. They had photos to be on the watch for the Game Awards kid that like crashed on stage to make sure he didn't show up at the event. I was like, oh, that's perfect.
That's amazing. I didn't see that. There was a ton of security. Like this thing was locked down. Like the first day, it was very interesting seeing like them talking to like the security talking to each other and be like, all right, make sure they have the wristbands. We're gonna have people walk in. Like they were on top of it. So yeah, the company that IGN, because it wasn't like the host of IGN that you see online. It wasn't the reporters that like organized the event. Obviously, they got an event planning group and they threw it on, and then the host just came in and did the content, right? So they did a great job with it. It felt safe. I didn't feel weird at all. I didn't feel uncomfortable once, like, even the area it was in. Sure, like one block down there was a huge homeless encampment, which could cause issues when you have events like this, but it didn't make it feel it didn't make me feel uncomfortable. I thought the event felt incredibly safe and such. Oh yeah, the video of me walking to the egg.
I saw this before we recorded live for the first time. This is Elden Ring, right? Like Elden Ring related?
Yeah. So they had the giant egg from Castle Mogue, I think, or Mogwin Palace, which is the entrance to the DLC. So they had that giant egg with the hand sticking out. So they had that on display here, and I took a picture with it, and I wanted to get inside of it, and I got in. I figured out a way to climb in that egg, and fantastic, warm, safe.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's the type of stuff I'm like totally in for. Like all the like weird, cheesy like photo ops and just like the little set pieces scattered around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
What have you?
I think definitely. Yeah, this is photoshopped. I didn't get in the egg.
Oh, is it?
You do not. Yeah, this is all photoshopped. I didn't get in the egg.
God, I totally thought you got in the egg. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to tell you.
Well,
because I'm impressed with my skills, and it fools people, and how easy it is just to start painting black blobs over your picture, and then it looks like you're inside of something.
You know, when you're caught up in the moment, I'll believe anything, I guess.
I was just me in my car sweating as I'm trying to do this and upload it because there's no service. Anyways, yeah, so I'm excited to see more. I think this is a proof that this is needed, and we keep circling around the same thing now. But
yeah.
But
so you said you played some Still Wakes the Deep. That's the horror project they unveiled last year on the oil rig, right?
Yes, and that was that little horror game. Yeah, set on the oil rig, and only played. It is a play test for about 30-ish minutes at the most. I think it took me. You kind of just walked around and interacted with the environment. Very ambiance, and it kind of sets up a little bit of what you're going to be interacting with. You kind of sets the mystery. Overall, I'm intrigued by it. I thought, I think it was running on a PC. I was using mouse and keyboard on that, and it ran well. It didn't show enough for me to be like, all right, it's pretty much just like a Resident Evil, walking game, right? Like that type of style game where there's like some action and such. So we'll see how it develops and what it turns into. But I mean, I'm intrigued by it. It definitely, the ambiance and the mystery that they're telling with whatever this thing that is happening to this to the oil rig, something's affecting it. Like whatever mystery that is, that it's intriguing and it looks cool. So we'll see.
Yeah, it won't have to wait long. This got a release date last week for next week already. On the 18th, we'll be out.
Oh man, I missed that it was coming out. That's crazy. That makes sense why I was there.
Yeah, it was. I think I said to you, that was his predictions are coming true already because this was one of the few things we got right. I also learned we were very bad at predictions and have high expectations for things. But
I think or we'll talk about predictions. We'll get
yeah,
there.
so still
Yeah, so that was cool to see.
Surmount, you played.
Yeah, and I have that, and I played a couple of that. I got a code from the developers, or for Papa Agenda, I think distributes that. But I tried it on Steam Deck. So one thing, I mean, it runs so solidly on Steam Deck. So I was very like, oh yeah, hell yeah, Surmount. And again, I'm like, yeah, Surmount's fun. I have to get back to it. Um, I have it on Steam, and what I really need to do is boot it up on my Backbone and like, because I want to like that. It's like a game I want to sit down and like on the couch and play, and I could like climb and while we watch something or something, you know.
Yeah,
I have it on Steam, so I'm on my computer. So I just need to like commit one night to get more into it. But impressed with. I mean, obviously it ran great on Steam Deck, so that's always good. But more so for me, why I really wanted it was to try it out was I wanted to hold the Steam Deck. I haven't had the ability to play a game on the Steam Deck for a good amount of time, so I played that. I played Surmount on Steam Deck. Man, a Steam Deck's so cool. Definitely am intrigued by what Xbox is working on with a handheld or the next iteration of the Steam Deck because that thing's cool. I understand why people love it again or why people love it now. I also played Kingdom Hearts on Steam Deck.
Oh yeah,
Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I played the Kingdom Hearts on Steam Deck.
Nice.
That was cool. It froze and crashed within 10 minutes, so I walked away. I was like, whatever.
Oh.
I'm not a big Kingdom Hearts fan, anyways. So I was running around with Hercules, and then it just crashed or it froze, and I was like, all right. But that Steam Deck still felt good, baby.
You know, that's almost how it feels being a Kingdom Hearts fan sometimes. Just freezes and crash.
That makes sense. Yeah.
God, that's awesome. I was definitely keeping up with your thread outside of the egg that I saw today.
Yeah.
But
oh, and then I played on the Playdate. You know the little handheld with the crank, that yellow one. That's real cool. That thing's real cool. I get why. Like again, once it's something where you see it and you're like, that's such a niche product. I don't know why I would like. I don't need it. I don't need to buy it. That's not something I would get. When you have it in your hand, you're like, honestly though, pulling something out like this and just like, all right, I could relax and play a quick little game on this, crank it up. It's cool. That's a really cool device.
did they was there anything, I don't want to say like major, but like big AAA stuff there, or was it mostly kept for indies and smaller?
Definitely a lot of indies for the most part, and then stuff like WWE 2K24. They had booths set up, and you can get locker codes. They had Topspin 2K25, the tennis game. They had X Defiant set up, so there was a station where people could play that together. But for the most part, it was mostly like some smaller titles. They said I saw Ghost of Tsushima 2, or not 2. Ghost of Tsushima PC was. Yeah, surprise! It was at the IGN Live. No, just the PC edition was at there, but I didn't see anyone play it, and I didn't like search super hard for the PC that was running it. But that would be like the only big thing I think that would have been there. A lot of smaller titles, which I liked. There were some devs there for some of the games, which was cool to talk to. Chain Staff is a game that's coming up. I really sucked at it. It's kind of like a Metroid, like I would say.
Chain Staff?
Chain Staff, yeah. That was fun, but yeah, I just it's like if you watch me play Elden Ring, yeah, that one. If you watch me play Elden Ring, like, and I just make mistakes over and over, and it's really like, all right, I know it's on me, and then I just I make the same mistake over again. I just kept doing that, and I know the devs were standing behind me, and I was just like, I just kept like, no, this is on me. I hope you guys
silently judging you.
I hope you guys don't think the game is too hard because I know what I did. I pressed the wrong button. I jumped when I should have not jumped. So, this is the exact level that I was able to try out. So. It was a fun little game. Definitely check it out. That staff is fun. So it's hard. It's not like it's not an easy game, but maybe it is for some people.
Good times.
Yeah, so there's a ton of games. If you have a Steam, go on Steam. They have a banner for IGN Live, and they have all the games that were there. So you can go check that out on Steam. And also, Steam Next Fest is on right now. So there's a ton of demos for indie games and games in general, like the Alters. There's a demo for the Alters on there. I'm gonna be playing that later today because that game looked awesome when Xbox showed it off at their developer direct earlier in the year. So they have a demo out. So make sure you check those things out. Support these small little games because they're really cool, and the people who are making them are incredibly passionate and they love what they do and they just love games. So support the big stuff, but always support the small stuff.
Your little stuff leads into big stuff later on. So
Exactly. It
like
all helps each other.
yeah, like you said, it's just a very exciting time. There's been looking at the next years ahead, like it's nuts. And I just think back to last year, I was like, this is the greatest year for gaming we've had. And I'm like, damn, we're just keeping that ball rolling in like every sense of the word going forward. And there's no signs of like breaks or stopping. It's just constant hit after hit after hit down the pipeline. And I'm so excited to be in the now.
Yep.
Yeah, the main thing this week, as you mentioned, Xbox Showcase. It happened. The one day a year. We get all the cards laid out. Xbox shows up, shows out. And goddamn did they do that this year. Very baseline. I'll give you a break from talking since you've had Summer Game Fest. It's been said by a lot of people, and I almost wholeheartedly agree. I feel like this is one of the best showcases they have ever had. One of the top showcases ever between any company. It had gameplay, it had CGI trailers, it had what I always try and look for, something unexpected that could hopefully be my next favorite game. I had that here, thankfully. There was surprises, there was updates and stuff. Like every possible checkmark you could have made for what you look for in a showcase was present in spades. The only downside I would give anything for the showcase is lack of release dates for stuff we know is coming this year or stuff that leaked after the fact, which is just odd decisions for me, I guess. But this felt like the change of tides for Xbox and the type of thing they needed with how the year has been for them, messaging wise and marketing wise. Like this was across the board hype, excitement, people being supportive of what they're doing, the teams finally getting chances to show off what they've been doing for all these years through COVID and just getting stuff out the door, like top to bottom, absolute masterclass at what they had for Sunday. And it's something I think I've watched this 3 times already now. 2 days out like a madman. But
I love that for you. Yeah, I mean, I agree. This showcase is incredibly good, or was incredibly good, and being in a crowd of people watching it, I mean, everyone was popping off constantly. Just their stuff was like, oh, and then it was like, oh yeah, and people were into. There's a good amount of people in that room that was into something. No matter what, right? There's something that appealed to sections of the people, and everyone was supportive of it, right? I didn't get to catch like everything as people were popping off and such, but like the vibe in the room was that this showcase was incredible. Like this thing knocked it out of the park, and when we all walked out, they didn't let us watch the Black Ops 6 direct in that room, which was fine. But as you know, we walked out, everyone was like, damn, like it was just like, whoa, and talking about Gears of War E-Day and such. So the vibe coming out was very, very like like impressed. Like that was an incredible show for fans at IGN Live, fans who came to the watch party, fans of Xbox. We loved it. It was awesome. And then watching it later and watching other creators like react to it was like, holy shit, this thing was really good. There's so much I missed with the whole crowd jumping up and like trying to get free stuff and shit and just popping off to the hype announcements and stuff. Like being able to just watch it fully solidify like this was easily one of their top productions ever, right? The pacing, the way they did it, the way it moved, the pace it moved, the games they showed, when they showed them, I thought it was just solid, right? It just fed into it fed into one and another. Yeah, something like that.
you got there.
It got there eventually. So it was a perfect mix of Xbox games, and that Microsoft games. I'm gonna include all of their categories, but also third-person games as well. It wasn't just their impressive catalog of Activision, Blizzard, um, Bethesda, and Xbox games. It also had some really strong third party showings, which shows the strength of Xbox as a brand and just in general. So, uh, yeah, I agree. Probably one of the best they've ever done, and one of the best. I mean, easily the best we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it broke down. They said 17 first-party games shown, which is nuts when you say that. But then you think about all the stuff that wasn't shown and the stuff that's still somewhere in the background being made. Like they could have had another showcase the day after with all the other studios. Essentially, like I
Yeah.
get that's we bought stuff, but like genuinely impressive on the amount and quality of content that they have coming.
Yeah, and I think the key one is the quality, right? Because like the amount they bought a bunch of shit, and like of course you're gonna get. Remember, like they have Activision, Blizzard, and Bethesda and Xbox. Those were at one point three separate showcases for E3. They all had their own thing going on, and now it's all owned by Microsoft, right? Like they have so much shit. So yeah, you can throw a bunch of stuff at a wall. Duh. I better see a lot of stuff at your showcases because you have a ton, but it's the quality stuff and what we saw just across the board from their big budget quadruple A initiative game Perfect Dark to a small title like Mixtape. Like they were solid, high quality titles. I thought.
Yeah, it was genuinely like it was the type of thing where I wish I could have experienced this with people like I used to when I would have people like shoved in mom's living room back in the day 10, 12 years ago watching E3. Like this would have been the most hype pop off type thing to experience. Um yeah, get looking into it. Started off with Call of Duty, ended with Call of Duty. Got a campaign trailer at the beginning, which okay. Uh Obviously the big set piece for them, their big moneymaker this year. They're the reason we've gone through the past couple years of court cases and acquisitions and whatever. Like, Duty was obviously going to be their centerpiece. Even with the direct at the end, I felt like they did a really good job. I know I was kind of like being cocky about it beforehand, of it's not going to change much, but like genuinely kind of excited this year. The stuff they're changing, the stuff they're going back to for me, or at least get me in the door. Um, Day One Game Pass, talked about that before. They're doing what they did with Starfield. I saw where if you do the $30 upgrade, you get like the Vault edition with all the extra bells and whistles tied in. So that's very cool to see. Then
That makes sense. I'm interested in COD just because it's in Game Pass. Like that's purely it. You know. It's just one of those. I'm intrigued by what they're gonna do, and obviously more intrigued by the ramifications of it all, and like how much it's gonna sway people to sub to Game Pass, and what that's gonna look like ultimately. But what I really love about that stuff is what Phil said after the trailer and saying all betas, like maps, DLC, anything is going to come out at the same time everywhere on day one. We're not going to do the if you're on one platform, you get it a week early, or you get like the beta sometimes early. So, like he flat out said, we're not doing that with COD. Everyone will get the same exact game, same experience, any open beta, everything at the same time on all platforms, and that is amazing to hear. Again, I'll repeat it as someone who played Destiny on Xbox and Sony paid for specific mission and weapons. It felt shitty. Like I don't. Sure, it's a business, but it didn't make me buy a PlayStation. It just made me like, all right, fuck off. Like whatever. I'll just never play those. So that's why I love what Xbox is doing. I believe that taking down those walls is way better. So I just wanted to highlight that comment from him because I thought that is incredible for Call of Duty to have it just flat. Everyone gets it. Beta 2, like it's not just the same game. It's also any open betas everyone can go in at once.
Yeah, I think that even goes to like skins and packs too, because I believe PlayStation had exclusives of those before that were only on the platform. So
Yeah,
obviously just cosmetics, but still having that flat across the board And then even next year, if next year's the year that ends up on Switch, like same thing there.
And I think
Legally
that's
has
just
to, but
better. Yeah, it's better for the industry, in my opinion. So I love that.
love it. You know what I love, Kyle? I love me some motherfucking Doom. And what a
Do
way
you?
to kick off the showcase proper. This was obviously leaked beforehand, went through a name change or whatever. But yeah, Doom's back. Next year, Doom the Dark Ages, semi sort of medieval theme, riding dragons, looked cool as hell. Shotgun's back, looks cool as hell. The weird whatever chain gun that he shoves a skull into and it's like
It
chucking
grinds up
shards
the
of.
skull.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing.
it's the most
The
metal shit I've seen.
chainsaw shield. Doom is so cool just because it's the vibe, the aesthetics. This trailer hit hard. It like he looks so cool with the medieval armor and such. So yeah, I mean, I haven't played the first. I haven't finished the first two. It's something I just actually just need to commit to. I don't think I beat them. I think I didn't beat them because really of work. You know, like
Yeah.
just ultimately like, who cares? Like it was fun. I don't need to beat it, and I didn't care at that time. But it's always a good time, and I think the music is real fun. The music is banging in these games, so
Yeah,
this looks cool and it looks beautiful. Is it? Do we know what engine it's on? Are they on? Did they go to Unreal 5 or is this just? Do they have their own stuff?
I think
I can look
id
that up.
still is using id Tech, but I could be wrong.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, next year will be also this a dragon breathing fire into a demon's mouth. This is just the coolest shit. Will be next year PS5 as well. So as the waters are kind of murky on what platforms stuff releases on still, Doom is one of the ones where it's had lineage elsewhere. Like makes sense.
I want to talk about that because I think ultimately what Xbox is going to do is Xbox Game Studios games won't be day and day anywhere else. They will go eventually, but day and date they won't release on anywhere else except PC and Game Pass or Xbox and PC. But then like stuff like from Bethesda and Activision, why not, right? Like I don't see that as an issue. It's still Xbox would still have their quote exclusives because it's their Xbox Game Studios, right? But then the other things that do have a history of being multi-platform continue to be so, and it kind of makes sense to me. You have your three arms with Xbox games, Bethesda, and then Activision Blizzard. Just let them. Xbox is your exclusive, your game studio. Yeah, other stuff can go anywhere. Who cares? I think that's what's going to be the play.
I would love for that to happen purely for the fact just so we have like baselines drawn of what's what. It's
Yeah, and I think they kind of are almost there, but they just won't say it. But I think because people will blow it out of proportion either way. So why
yeah.
say anything? You just do it. So I think, yeah, I just think looking back, eventually we'll be like, oh yeah, it's Bethesda and Activision can do whatever they want, but outside of Starfield. But I think they learned from that too.
That was their testing ground, sorta.
Yeah, and I think now they're like, you know what, being exclusive like that is silly, especially for games. But it's a new property too, so I also understand like a new IP. Yeah, keep it to Xbox, but something that has a history. So it's real interesting to be in those meetings,
Right?
to be a fly on the wall. I just want to know their reasonings.
20 years from now, when we're old, they're going to be like documentaries on like A&E or something about it.
Gamergate 4.
Gamergate 4. Yeah, excited. Doom definitely day one for me either way. So, just all around awesome.
I mean, anything in Game Pass is almost a day one for me because why not?
Ayo. Afterwards, leading in with one of the few games that have been gone for years, was State of Decay 3. A nice mix of a CGI trailer, kind of gets you cinematically kind of what gameplay will be like shot for shot at times. Never been a State of Decay guy. I tried to for a while. Not my ish, I guess. Very resource management driven, and I don't know. Never my thing. Still looks great. Happy to finally see this coming back.
I liked it. It was a solid AA title. I think that was its scope for. I only played the second one, I didn't beat it though. I fell off just the quirks and just a little too much. But I do think they have an opportunity. They've been working on this for a long time, so they have an opportunity to kind of fix a lot of those things, I think, and just fine tune it and make a really dope game. It looks to me like there's some shots in the trailer where you're like third person view. I really do think that is gameplay, just very rudiment. Like that's why they don't have a HUD or anything. But I think they are showing us kind of what the game is going to look like because it's very. I don't know. It looks like gameplay, but obviously didn't want to say anything because it's still a little early on. But I'm intrigued. I hope it's going to be more State of Decay. That's what we're going to get. But the next installment, right? I hope they can flesh it out. It seems like based on the trailer, your survivors matter, and it has in other games too. But they put a really big emphasis on it that everyone will be remembered and such. And I wonder if that is just for the story of a zombie apocalypse and you're slowly all your friends are dying. You're gonna remember all of them, right? But I wonder if there's a mechanic in there where I don't know. It's an interesting concept, so I'm intrigued to see more. Do you think 2026 is this a next gen game or is this like sometime next year, 2025?
I would hope it's 2025. I don't just. I mean, it could be 2026. If it is 2026, I would say very early. I don't see this being like a tentpole thing to launch new hardware on if 2026 is the year for that, Not to say it's not like filler or anything. I just don't see, hey, buy this new console, we got State of Decay. Like to a lot of people, I feel like the name's not big enough in general. It's definitely one of the smaller Game Pass things, It's not pushing units or being that Gears of War or something they'd be looking for. I would be pretty confident on next year, though. It's one of the games. It's come out, I believe. Coalition is working with them on Unreal Engine 5 stuff. Like, it's kind of a group project between a lot of the studios, as many of these things are. So,
which is the benefit of what they're doing, which is super cool.
Yeah,
because they have multiple studios helping out with their knowledge. And the Coalition, I mean, we'll get there eventually, but that Gears of War E-Day trailer, just even what Coalition has done in the past has been fantastic. So that's good for State of Decay.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. It's from State of Decay 2, it very much felt like a studio where if they had Microsoft money and stuff behind them, could do something special, And now fully being kind of enwrapped and being a part of everyone else's structures and what they're doing. Hopefully this is what they need to become that next step up and be that big AAA experience that they would hopefully want to be. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Age showed up with a trailer getting set up for their gameplay reveal that they had earlier today, actually, at the time of recording. 15 minutes of gameplay revealed. A lot of mixed stuff on this I've seen online. People concerned about the tone and the more cartoony way of things, and overall just the trailer being more kind of lighthearted and goofy compared to deep dialogue, options, and life-changing decisions that people would hopefully want from Dragon Age. So exciting to see. Looks great. I've dabbled in the series before, so maybe check this out for me.
Yeah, I haven't played any Dragon Age, so didn't the IP doesn't really do anything for me. But I thought the trailer got me intrigued. I was like, all right, this is intriguing. Most of it's the song. I thought it worked pretty well. It worked for me, and I was like, this is kind of hype. I haven't watched any of the gameplay stuff, so I don't know if this is something I'll play. But I think this is one of those third party showings at the showcase that was like, hell yeah, Xbox, all right. Like I said, people, especially after the gameplay showcase they showed off. Did I say show enough?
Show off.
Especially with what they highlighted today in that showcase thing. It seems like people are really, really hyped and excited for Dragon Age. So that's cool. Just not for me. But hey, a good third party show in there for Microsoft.
Well, it's one of the things too. Comes out after being gone for a few years now. And hey, we're out this year. Cool, awesome, glad to hear it. Like, if this would have been a, hey, here's our trailer, we're next year, 2026, I don't feel like would have done as much. But it's one of those things we talked about last week with Fallout 4 back in the day. Hey, here's our trailer, we're out in fall. Cool.
Yep.
More of that, please.
Yeah, definitely more of that. Not everything needs long cycles. Some things justify it. But I like, something like Dragon Age, I feel fits that bill perfectly to be just announced. But man, any time in the watch party room where it would say Bethesda presents active or anyone, it was just everyone would be like, oh, like what is it?
Which Bethesda was here a lot. I think what, 7 times they popped up.
That was insane.
Which some of it was, we got, as assumed, Starfield DLC announcement. Happy for what it is.
Oh, it looks cool. I'm so intrigued by what the story they're going to be telling is, and the whole vibe. It looks cool. I'm so stoked to hop back in for that story DLC.
Yeah,
but they also dropped mods. They did the creation kit
on the day of.
Have you hopped in? Because I have.
I have not. I'm waiting. I want to wait for DLC and just do one big journey through again when that comes out.
Oh, that's
everything.
Yeah, they already got the Mandalorian mod, so you can be the Mandalorian, you could be Boba Fett, you could be Batman. I'm excited to see just when people start adding more ship parts and different things. So at one point, Todd said you could do whole planets. Whole planets are in the creation kit. So
yeah, I remember that.
When are we? So this is exciting. This was in the back of my mind. I was like, I want to mess with the creation kit. I want to just see what that is. I'm intrigued by this game stuff. So I want to do that. And he just drops it and just says tonight. I was like, the crowd was going crazy because the trailer ends and they're like, let's give out free stuff. And then, I'm like, oh wait, everyone look, like stuff's coming out tonight.
Like Xbox is giving us free stuff.
That's bigger than the trailer. Like the mods are on console tonight.
Xbox is giving us free
and
stuff.
Then the crowd popped off as everyone saw it. I popped off even more. It's always fun to get fun stuff like a shadow drop of new content.
That's great. I hope it gets people in or experiencing it again.
It's really smart. They gave everyone who bought the premium edition they got 1,000 credits to use on creation stuff. And if you have Game Pass, you got Starfield for free. But if you paid $30, you upgraded to the premium edition and played it a week early, which is what I did. So I was like,
also did that.
I got 1,000 credits. You got 1,000 credits to use. I bought. There's someone who's doing space sims, and he wants to make this a deep space sim game. So the first one that came out is a mining conglomerate. So when you start off the game, you're an Argos miner, and then you do that little thing, and then you're done with that. However, Argos, the mining company, contacts you with this mod, and they say, hey, we want you to be the manager of a little station. So then you have a mining station. I haven't explored it much, but I bought it, and I was like, hell yeah. That sounds so cool. So what people are going to do with Starfield and the mods, I am incredibly excited to see. This is why Bethesda made Starfield the way they did, right? They made choices to allow this type of stuff. I love the Star Wars Outlaws thing. Everyone's comparing it to Starfield, and it's just a loading screen like they did. It's all it is.
Yeah.
Whatever. You wouldn't be able to do certain things in Starfield if you had those things. So it's just listen to the developers, and when they tell you why they do something, just all right, that is what it is. You can agree or not agree, but it's silly to keep comparing it and bringing it up. But yeah, these mods are going to be fun once the free ones really get going, and once people really get into it. Man, it should be fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. They give you the 1,000 credits or whatever if you got the edition. I did not know that, so I may jump in earlier because they will have those waiting for me apparently.
Yeah, I hopped in and it was just there, and I was like, hell yeah, thanks Bethesda. I don't remember them announcing that anywhere, so beforehand. So that's cool.
Shattered Space, sometime 2024. One of the things, again, I wish we had dates on, but take your time. Take your time.
I'm okay with certain. I get it. I think I didn't feel weird about lack of dates across the board. I know you mentioned that earlier for you, but I felt it was okay.
I would have liked a few. The amount of 2024 stuff there was, after a while, it's okay, are we really sure about these things? Or are Are we still moving stuff around? Is stuff getting
Yeah.
pushed back or what?
Yeah, and we'll talk more about it when we get to them, but definitely
Yeah.
Avowed and Indiana Jones were the two that Bob. I was like, really? But also, I'm like, you know what? It's June. That's 6 months away. Like, you can do an event towards August and another little thing to highlight and give us a date then. But anyways,
Fallout 76 next. First map expansion, which we knew about coming. I think this is also next week or the week after.
it's
Just
tomorrow.
Oh, is it? Well,
Time of
shit.
recording June 12th.
Guess we're hopping back into Appalachia then.
No, I got Destiny. I got no Fallout. I'm done with Fallout 76. Destiny came out and is fantastic. 10 out of 10. A great. I haven't talked about it yet. Great expansion. Amazing. I'm only playing that right now.
That's fine. It sounds good. I told you, I think my whole TikTok's been Destiny 2 spoilers, and I'm getting emotional over stuff I don't know about, so it's doing its job.
I love that. But yeah, I mean, the Skyline, I will hop into this update eventually. I really have enjoyed my time with Fallout 76. It's a fun time. It's fun to just have a Fallout game that's living just to go explore every now and then, I think. I like that. So,
Yeah.
So cool.
It was very them celebrating their flowers, again, pointing out the player numbers they have, and getting people excited for next year, as they announced Play as a Ghoul next year, which at first I was like, okay, cosmetic change, but apparently is like a whole new way to play. It goes into gameplay status, like radiation doesn't affect you the same, certain builds you can't use, there's certain ghoul-specific cards that you'll get through leveling. So, interesting new side to explore.
That's cool. Yeah, it reads as just a skin, which is cool, but that makes sense why it's like play as a ghoul. It's like, all right.
Yeah, it sounds like a whole entirely new class thing. They even said as far as like main story stuff, like Brotherhood of Steel stuff, some may be cut off or they'll treat you differently or the ending of the game may completely change. Like, it's a whole new separate way of playing.
That's smart. That's cool. I like that. That'll be cool to see what that is actually.
What I'm waiting to see what will be cool was our next announcement. And this was what I said at the beginning,
my gosh.
My unexpected, hopefully new favorite game with Expedition 33. Our boy Ben Starr.
So cool.
Yeah, it's very another French developer, which over the weekend I noticed there was an absolute ton. Really cool premise. I've looked up. I've already been like, I'm messaging the developers. I want to cover this some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you saw the creators? Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm in there.
Good.
There's this paintress in the trailer. Every year paints down a new number, and everyone of that age vanishes into smoke, essentially gone, dead, whatever.
Wait, that's the premise?
That's the premise.
I didn't read anything.
Oh, yeah.
my God.
So, yeah, she paints the 33. The group of people you're playing as are all turning 33 in the coming days, so they're off to, like, put an end to this. And eventually extinction, because no one ages past that number, so it's just eventual wipeout of human existence.
Man, people who are 33 when this comes out are potentially going to have a very rough time. A very like midlife crisis thing. That is such a interesting premise. I didn't like the trailer hints on that and such, but like that's what the number is. It's because that's everyone who is that age can just like get blipped.
And every year keeps going down by one. So like I said, eventually like, people would be wiped out. So you're on a group going out to stop this. Really cool gameplay concept. At first it looks just like a turn-based RPG, but it has a really cool mix of like live action commands, quick time events. If you have like a spell that you pull out a sniper or do like rapid fire shots, you actually get to control where those go as far as like body parts go to do stagger effects and real time sort of turns on what your typical turn-based combat abilities are. You actually get to have an effect on how those play out. Overall, super cool. Very beautiful. Like, this was one of the coolest looking things graphically, artistically, of the entire weekend that I saw. And I'm so incredibly hyped.
Yeah, I mean, this is the unknown, the one, that just comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, shit. So I agree with a lot of what you said. And I'm not a big turn-based gameplay person, but I know this is like a mix, right? Like there is like like rhythm type stuff, almost like what did that one person compare it to? Anyways, like you could parry like on beat and such, right? Like with the A right there.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
And
so see, like
this,
it's since it's a merging of it's not just uh turn based. I think that makes it a little more intriguing to me. Is this a Game Pass game or no?
I believe it
Oh,
is.
oh, baby, that's amazing.
I
Well, either way, yeah, like this looks. Love random games that come out of nowhere that are awesome.
Yeah, as far as I know, this is the team's first thing as well, which, holy shit, the French government is funding the crap out of this, if that's the case. Yeah, it's just, as I said, Ben Starr, Clive from Final Fantasy 16, voicing main character. Super excited to have anything he's in general. Love his work. I believe 2025 was set for this, which I will gladly wait from a distance and praise as long as I can, because, oh boy.
Yeah, I'm in for the story alone, but yeah.
Yep, Game
Wait.
Pass at the end of the trailer.
Oh, thank. That's awesome.
Yeah, good thing I will not be 33 by the time this comes out. Because everyone's just getting blipped.
I literally had to do math in my head. I was like, oh, wait. Wait, so what if you like, if you die, do you just play like a younger batch? This game is interesting.
Yeah.
All right, good job.
It's very, like I said, from art style, the story, like so many unique concepts that are like I'm into and want to learn more about. And then we go in to one of my favorite things from last year, actually, South of Midnight from Compulsion Games. We Happy Few, Contrast, which I played at the beginning of the year. Super huge fan of the studio. The sort of southern gothic mythical setting they're going for on this is so unique as far as gaming go. Like, I couldn't tell you another game that comes similar.
I would say like Red Dead Redemption 2 because yeah, they like with Lemoyne and they kind of have southern influences. But yeah, I think this is like there's not many games that takes what the mythos of the American South and puts it front and center like this. So I'm excited just for the world that they're building. And I thought the trailer they showed or the what they showed was really cool. I love the animation. I love the style, the little stop motiony stuff. And then they showed us some gameplay, which when they showed us gameplay, I was like, oh my God, my prediction of this coming out this year is going to be true.
Right?
Holy crap. I was like, I was a dumb prediction. I can't believe it's coming true. And it's not coming out this year. They fooled me with the gameplay. But yeah, we got some gameplay. It looks, it's more action based with some little powers and such. So not what I thought the game was going to be fully, but I'm still intrigued. I came out of this trailer being like, hell yeah, like I can't wait to see more and just see what this game turns into. The music cues in this trailer alone are so good. I wonder how much of that is, directed trailer and how much of that is actually going to be in the game and keep that vibe going. So I'm so interested into this what this game is going to be.
Yeah, already, even just from this, there's so many cool little details as far as like gameplay goes during this combat sequence. If you're on video, at the end of some of her combos, she almost like staggers, sort of like she's not used to it, and like still catching her footing as far as like doing a moves and stuff goes, which I thought was really nice, like quality detail. Yeah, you said art style, the sort of stop motion claymation sort of thing going on, blending with like the real world environments. It's just got so much creativity behind it. I can't wait. I think this was 2025 as well.
Yeah.
Which take your time. If you need to polish the shit out of this game, I will, please. Little Spider-Man influence here with the gliding in the wind.
Oh yeah.
It's very cool. Very happy for that team. And it's so different from what they've done before too. Because like We Happy Few is sort of like not necessarily survival, like a horror, trying to stay alive, sneaking around type thing. This is so far off left field. I'm excited to see what they do with new concepts.
Agree. Should be good.
Next up, my tease of the whole show. Blizzard presents World of Warcraft trailers start popping up, Kyle. Freaking out. It was. I was like, it's happening. Wow, I don't even want it on Game Pass. I just want it on console. Sadly,
there's no way.
Sadly not it. Just a big old hype trailer for The War Within coming out. I believe they gave it an August release date from this, which is cool. As we talked way back when we started doing this, when they did BlizzCon, this is their beginning of their Infinity Saga. This is the beginning of the end of what the game is currently, and as this is my Destiny 2 moment that you're experiencing now, like seeing where this is going after so many years build up, I am still incredibly hyped. So happy to see where the team's going. Hopefully one day on Xbox. But War Within, not too far along. Not too far away, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, Blizzard cinematics are always good, so.
Why are they not making movies or TV shows?
I know, right? With just that, who knows? Yeah, we'll see when, if ever, it comes to Game Pass. I not Game Pass, just console in general. I do think it's inevitable, but we'll see if it's like a this gen or a next gen thing. It might, that might be part of the sell there.
That could be.
It's only a next gen release. Huh. Interesting. We're gonna have to remember that little thought.
There is. Start doing bets on the side here. More third-party support. Metal Gear Solid. This was a weird one for me because I believe wasn't the first trailer for this at a PlayStation showcase. Now we're here at an Xbox showcase and it's back with gameplay.
I thought the first one was at the Xbox showcase, and everyone was like, "Whoa!" But who cares? It's multi-platform. It looks cool. We're seeing like, I haven't played a Metal Gear game at all, so.
Oh, well.
I mean,
that
this
makes
looks
two.
cool, but yeah, it doesn't really. I don't know the franchise, so.
Cool.
People were hyped for it though.
Yeah, another no release window, no release date given. Just cool update on gameplay. Flintlock was next, which Sea of Thieves update. Don't need. We already know they had their big showcase beginning of the year. Another teaser for the season launching on July now. Flintlock was next, which has been at a couple events. Always been interested in this. I don't feel this was the trailer that I would have wanted. It was very flashy and jumping between a whole lot of things and not really solid on what they're trying to do, I guess. I feel like every trailer for this has been so wildly different. Which could just be trying to capture the attention of multiple different groups of people. Well, who knows? Still looks great. The weird mech, futuristic guns and magic mixture. Cool setting. Excited to see how it lands.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by seeing more. It looks cool, and it's in Game Pass, so that's always a plus. But it comes out soon, right? Is it?
Yep, July 18th.
18th, yeah. So this is right around the corner. So, yeah, we'll see what this is. Looks cool
though. Age of Mythology Retold announced day one on console, which is nice to see because I feel like there's always that window between PC and console release for these types of things. Again, not my ish. You PC.
I like that they say that now. Like that's cool going forward. That like their age is like they're mainly this Age of Mythology and Age of Empires were PC only games, and now it's day and day on console. That's really cool, and it kind of goes back to the previous point of like, hey, maybe World of Warcraft can go on console. Like, I mean, you already are seeing other games do it, so we'll see.
Yeah, crazier things have happened.
I'm excited to play Mythology. I haven't touched an Age of Mythology at all, so I'll play it.
Play it pretty soon, September 4th.
I'm away at a wedding that weekend. That's hilarious.
Well, you will not be playing. September 12th.
I'll bring my backbone and I can play it on cloud gaming.
There you go. Perks of Xbox. It was a nice little lead into their next title, which I feel could easily be the biggest holy shit moment of the entire showcase. Joanna Dark is back, Kyle. Perfect Dark was here with a whole lot to show. I feel like a lot of people coming in would have expected just another quick trailer CGI thing. Nah, they gave you whole gameplay demonstration essentially, and jumping
which is what
between.
I said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I
Uh,
predicted that. Don't take that away from me.
I was
I
getting
said
to it.
Perfect Dark with a with gameplay and a day, and they gave us that. Well, maybe not the day.
Part of it, yeah, yeah. It was just wild. I was so happy to see this. How much of the gameplay we were able to see, the different genres they're pulling from. You had Mirror's Edge parkour in there, stealth, like Splinter Cell type stuff going on, hand to hand combat and gunplay. Just a wide the amount of things they're trying to fit in here and make it that sort of spy espionage dream that you would want. If it comes out looking like this and fully hitting on those notes, this could be more special than I think a lot of people gave it credit for when this was announced.
Yeah, no, it definitely was like. I mean, I don't have any experience with the franchise at all, so it was like a lot of people when they announced it, it was like, okay, why Perfect Dark? Like, what is it? um, but man, they showed it off, and it looks cool. I mean, once start using like it reminds me of Cyberpunk in a lot of ways. And that definitely is the first person perspective, but just there's so many aspects of it, the UI, the movement, the gadgets that you're able to use. I know you do the voice imprint like earlier in the trailer where you're scanning someone, you could take them. It's just all that stuff is so cool and like it looks awesome. So I'm excited to see more of this game. It's nice that this will help people not be like, oh, this game's gonna suck, or like we haven't seen anything. It's like, no, we're good. It's okay. We can wait, we can be patient. Let them cook. They got it. But remember, they did set the expectation for this game and said the initiative is making a quadruple A
Quadruple A.
experience. So they did it to themselves. Stop. Don't say you're doing something like that. But hey, by the look of it, I mean, I see why they would say that, I guess. I think I could see people describing at that time Cyberpunk 2077 as like a quadruple A experience. I'm just getting so much Cyberpunk vibes from this Perfect Dark trailer, and I think that's really cool. I think that's a positive thing. So
This, more than any, I feel would be that next gen launch title that they would want to hit. Like if
I
this
honestly, yeah,
this is that type of it's lost now with the way generations happen, but this is that type of graphical step up I feel people want. When you get the new box and like get into the nitty gritty of things, this would be that perfect showcase, I feel.
oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like, hey, buy our new console where it can do X, Y, Z for Perfect Dark, and hey, if you have the Series X or S, you still can play Perfect Dark, but it's only going to do X and Y, right? It can't get the X, the whatever that Z variable is in this example, like, and that's fine. That's what PCs are. Like, if it can't do the full thing, guess what, you're not going to do it. Otherwise you're probably going to crash. Right? Like, I could run certain games at really really high settings on my PC and I'll get like 5 frames a second. It lets you do that. Games can run everywhere if they're built that way, and that's how Microsoft is building them. So yeah, it's going to be a selling point for the next console. It's going to be able to do more things on the next console. I think it makes sense that this is uh, a launch title for their next console, which we get hints at later on in the showcase. Uh, I think that just makes a lot of sense to me.
I'm so excited. My boy Elvis the alien, not here, but who knows? Could always fit in as an Easter egg.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I love that. What the hell is this game?
He's a little gray alien with a southern accent, Kyle. He's great. It's like
Oh, yeah,
Roger
you
from
ruined
American
it.
Dad. Quick cinematic, well, not quick, cinematic for Diablo 4 that made me cringe the shit out of my seat. Uh,
Yeah, I was like, cool, cinematic. All right.
Cinematic, all right. Oh, her arm split in half. Okay.
Yeah, I like it why they show these, like, and this is the opening cinematic for the expansion. I get why they show these at showcases. Like, it is a showpiece. Like the especially with Diablo, like these cutscenes are fantastic. They look phenomenal. It's insane. But I also am like, all right, like I don't need the opening cinematic to a thing that's coming out later this year. Like, it looks beautiful. I get why you do it, but
that you will be seeing, yeah, in a few months again when you turn it
yeah.
on.
And then they told us a bunch of, then they just tell us the info. I'm like, all right, you could have I want to see this new class. I don't care about this little story as much. I skip the cutscenes, but that's me. So
Yeah, but you'll be waiting. A new class, like you said, is the Spiritborn. They are
yeah,
doing a dive on that on July 18th, which a month away, I guess. New region, campaign expansion, new co-op and game activity, and mercenaries, which are, I believe, like hireable NPCs you can party with if you don't have actual people, right? That will
oh, I
grow
get
and level with you as you go. And pets. Adding pets, Kyle, so you can do your demon slaying with dogs.
yay.
Yay.
Yeah, so it'd be cool. Jump in on Game Pass with that.
Yeah, I still need to. It's waiting for me. I still have it downloaded.
Oh yeah. Hey, when you're ready, just to like zone out and just kill some things.
What I won't be zoning out for, though, Fable. Back again, year two. They heard the screams of joy last year. I feel like they heard the criticism on people questioning if there was actual gameplay shown last year, and goddamn did they double down. Fable still looks absolutely stunning. Another similar theme trailer. Decent looks at what I'm hoping is gameplay. If not, it's the same cinematic like setting up of what it will be like. The same female hero from last year walking through towns. Whole lot of combat shown. Still crazy excited. We got 2025 release window. Please hit next year. I hope. I've been waiting far too long for the return of this franchise.
Another prediction I got right.
Yeah, now that you got right.
This one was obvious though to me. They had to show this and give us a date. It looks cool, yeah, and I think 100% we are seeing gameplay. I don't think they're showing us any UI or HUD, which is makes sense, but things can change. But overall, I think they're showing us what the game is going to look like and what it does, and I think we are seeing a lot of gameplay footage that might be touched up or whatnot. Who knows? But yeah, I'm ready for Fable. I mean, that the trailer kind of tells us a little bit about the story. It seems like someone is coming back who might be the villain, the thing that's going on. Who knows? We'll see. I am excited to see more. I'm excited mostly because of it's Playground, the Forza Horizon people, right? Like, and now they're making Fable, an action adventure game. So an RPG, an action adventure RPG, like the Fable people or the Forza people. So I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with that. Like doing something totally different and with something so iconic like Fable. The two trailers have totally executed perfectly on the humor and all that stuff and the vibe of
Fatalities.
Fable, Fabalities. Yeah, they just it feels like Fable. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm just ready to see more, but we gotta be patient, I guess.
Yeah.
Next showcase, the next Xbox Direct next year with the deep dive into Fable will be hot.
God, that better be the extra thing next year. Please.
Yeah, that's the deep dive that we all know about beforehand. It's just here's 30 minutes of Fable deep dive gameplay, baby.
It was something I brought up when we talked about Hellblade before, where I feel like a lot of the newer stuff like this, people are more skeptical on because, like, holy shit, it could actually look like that sort of thing. Hellblade was that first step. Like, damn, games are at that level graphically and just expanding more on that and more gameplay mechanics added in. Hellblade, very slight on that, obviously, but they brought back in the trailer here the mixture of spells and regular combat, being able to combine those. There's a really good shot right here. Dude shooting an arrow at her that she catches midair and like whips back at him. Just
and that's so cool.
goofy shit that I'm so excited to see what this turns into. I don't expect it to be a full open world like the old ones were. I expect it being way more linear, but I'm okay with that.
Really?
I do.
Why? Forza, but Horizon is one big map. So like, why would they go linear with this?
Horizon is one big map, but it doesn't have all those levels of like gameplay stuff underneath. You know, like you're not managing spell systems and all this other stuff going on, and I just feel like it'll be more back end work to get this running than a Forza. I would love to be proven wrong. Would love.
I don't think this cannot be. I think this has to be like an open world like the other ones.
I hope you're
I think
right.
that's what people want in a Fable too. So, and with playground games, I get the concern there that it does have some validity, but I think, nah. If anything, it's gonna feel weird. It's gonna be a weird open world just because of the Horizon background. But I have confidence in them. They've only released 9s and 10s. Those games have only been perfect. So, can they do that with Fable? We'll see.
Well, go ahead and predict that next year so it happens, please, and thank you.
I wanted to.
Next up, we got a trailer for Fragpunk, which was something I believe is a brand new reveal. Another 5v5 shooter.
Yeah.
Looks okay. It's got a weird thing with these cards that you're unlocking mid-match that sort of change the way the gameplay works, changes the map settings. There's one scene where they activate one that makes the enemies have big heads for easier headshots and kills. It's got unique concepts in it and stuff I think it needs to stand out. We've talked the past couple weeks with Concord and the Marvel ones coming out. Like, there's a ton of these. You need to do stuff to stand out amongst the crowd. So,
Yeah, it looked cool, but it also isn't in. I guess it's 2025, so who knows? It might be in Game Pass, but I'm like, I know, or it might be free to play. Who knows? But yeah, these games are. There's a lot of them, so you got to do something.
Winter Burrow was up next. Another pleasant surprise for me. I'm very excited about this. Cozy kind of settlement building, kind of you're gonna get abducted and get your ass kicked a couple times. It looks like. Mouse weird. I want to say Pentiment art style, but it's not. But it's that kind of coloring booky,
hand drawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mouse going back to her home, family's gone / dead, kind of rebuilding, survival. Unique idea. It's looks charming. I hope it succeeds. It looks like it has what could be the next kind of indie darling for those. So
I like the ending where the owl just shows up, takes apparently your aunt, and then the trailer just ends.
you end off with a kidnapping. Great.
Yeah, and it's just like coming out later. This and it's like what? Yeah, the crowd was like, "Oh no!" Everyone got real sad when a giant owl just takes his little mouse away. So if you're watching a video, it'll pop up in a minute.
I got really sad.
I was like, all right, it's a way to leave an impression at least because I remember this game because of that now. Like, so good job.
Oh Lord, he
Good job,
coming.
team who... it just happens and then the trailer's over. I love it.
Love.
Oh yeah, so it is Game Pass. All right.
Yep.
But yeah, so
damn Game Pass.
Yeah, it looked interesting, but not. Yeah, the end was what got me.
Next up was another pleasant surprise that I'm kind of hyped for. Mixtapes or mixtape. Yeah, no
Mixtape.
S. No S. Annapurna, Beethoven, and Dinosaur T-Rex, whatever the studio name is. Weird stuff.
Beethoven and Dinosaur.
Beethoven, Dinosaur.
They made Artful Escape, which I played, love it. I am, and that as soon as I heard that this was made by those guys, I was like, hell yeah, this game's gonna be fun. Soundtrack looks great. I'm intrigued by it. It looks like a movie at times too, the way it's like, especially this trailer is shot. Like an animated movie. It's cool.
Yeah, it looks very much like something you'll experience more than play, you know. From Xbox Wire, their sort of like elevator pitch for this. On their last night of high school, 3 friends embark on one more adventure together. En route to their final party together, a perfectly curated playlist draws them into dreamlike reenactments of their formative memories together. Which cool.
Sold.
Yeah, sold. It's definitely something to check out. Not everyone's cup of tea, but that's why Game Pass is here to help these things succeed and find an audience. Moving on, we had Flight Simulator. Obviously, was going to have a trailer here. I don't think this got a release date. Showed off some of the new jobs and stuff available in the new release.
Yeah. Which is cool. I mean, adding like more ways to play Flight Simulator. I'm intrigued by a lot of what those little things they're adding instead of just flying from A to B. you have other things to do now, like put out a forest fire, collect, or like you can also take photos. So it should be fun just to kind of mess around in Flight Simulator and see how they're sprucing that up a little bit.
Elder Scrolls Online got trailers celebrating their success, I guess. They did have all DLCs are available for a limited time leading up to the Gold Road expansion coming up, which is nice to see. Something get more people in that haven't already checked it out, I guess. It's been 10 years at this point, I think. So, New Life is Strange was revealed, which I feel is kind of a given at this point. They've been at the last couple Xbox showcases. Another thing I haven't gotten into, I feel like would be my thing. So, we will see. I believe this is returning of a character from the original, I believe.
Yeah, I've never played them, so. But good for them.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
After that, we had Indiana Jones with questionable trailer for me, I guess. It was essentially a movie scene, I guess, for the entire time this was on. Still looks great. Still super excited. I'm even more on board with voice actor choice. Nothing about this or the snippets they've shown has hindered my appreciation for it. I'm excited to jump in later this year.
Yeah, I think it's Indiana Jones. Like, and yeah, the trailer and the extended little showing they did felt weird at times, but ultimately I'm like, they're making an Indiana Jones movie game. Like, that's all it is, and that's not a bad thing. But when we get these like narrative moments like this, like they're showing off, yeah, it's gonna feel like a movie, and that's kind of cool, and they're executing well on that. And when they do get to the gameplay moments, even though they're not in like the showing they're doing, it's like cuts from different moments of gameplay, in a little trailer style. It looks cool. It looks fast paced. It looks good. So I want them to show that off a little more, but maybe I could see that gameplay not showing off well, maybe, and that's why they're not showing us too much of it. It's more of like once you're hands on, it's a little easier. Who knows? But maybe that's why the trailer felt a little weird at times, because I don't know. I'm still excited for it, but this is one we didn't get a date for, which I thought was kind of odd. I still think this is like a later in the year. Do you think it's before Black Friday or after?
I want to say after. We'll get to it with Avowed's date leaked, technically, kind of, which puts it in November. I don't think they would do both in November. But then on the other hand, if you do it before that, you have Call of Duty in October. So it depends on
Call of Duty is its own game. I think that Call of Duty and Indiana Jones are not the same thing. You don't.
It's its own thing, yeah. I just don't think they would want to put one of their own things like that same time period. Just not for Call of Duty's sake, but for Indiana Jones' sake. Give it that window it needs to get people in.
Oh, see, I think they're just totally separate games, so like it doesn't even matter. Like I wouldn't put Indy like out the day after COD or a week after, but like 2 weeks, like you're not going to monopolize. Even a week after, yeah, I can go back to COD. I already finished the campaign. It's multiplayer now, but I don't know. I think they're different games, so it's interesting because yeah, once you get into thinking about their release schedule, now that Xbox has so many freaking studios, how do you not step too hard on each other's toes? Well, studios didn't care before, and it wasn't the biggest issue. So same thing, like people play a lot of games now, or just play very few games. But I think it's not that big a deal. But maybe I'm wrong about that. We'll see.
It'll be interesting
we'll
for
see
sure
when
to
they
see.
Release it.
Yeah, there's just so much stuff that trying to even plan this stuff out sounds like a nightmare, and I'm glad it's not my job.
I'll do it. Someone pay me to figure that out. I'll put stuff on a calendar for you.
He's like, fuck you. You're going here. You're going here.
I wouldn't say fuck you.
I want this now.
World of Warcraft. I'm like, you come out on Christmas Day, World of Warcraft.
Christmas Day.
Honestly, not awful. What a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore.
It would help with the servers because people would be doing family stuff. Mecha Break was next. New reveal. Gundam mech fighting game. This didn't do much for me. One of the lull points for the entire showcase for me. Um, looks cool. Looks very flashy. Looks like a whole lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it looks cool. I was like, man, I really got to play Armored Core 6 still. That's what I got out of it. It reminded me of that. So
One of the few not coming to Game Pass, which I feel like this one would help with that.
yeah, it's and maybe they, yeah, I mean, maybe they just don't have any deal, or maybe they have. I don't know. It's interesting because maybe some of these third parties, like they, who knows the deals they have with other publishers too.
Yeah,
Maybe, and we just don't know. So yeah, I think a lot of these third parties are not on Game Pass, right? Or am I mistaken?
I think most of them aren't. Yeah, I think it's more just helping them. Stuff like Winterboro was obviously, so
Mhm.
Flintlock was. So it's a nice
Oh
mix.
yeah, so it depends. Yeah, that's cool.
Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, a new announcement, which at first I honestly thought was Sekiro 2 from when the trailer started. Weird
Yeah, it's fair.
shit going on. Uh, very much looks like a Soulsborne. Very flashy, weird concept of looks like as you take damage, you either like sort of turn into some demon or gain supernatural powers from it. Who knows?
Yeah, and it looks interesting. Interesting. So, well, I mean, we got to see more.
Uh, Avowed was up next. Another one this year. Again, no release date, although they posted a blog afterwards. Supposedly November 12th. We'll see if that
And then they
sticks.
took it down,
Yeah, took it down.
and
Don't
then they
quote
never
us.
said it again. So, honestly, like, it could probably just be a placeholder. It wouldn't surprise me if everything gets a tentative date and then they just don't want anything. I mean, it does. Everything gets a, hey, we want to hit November 12th, hopefully, and then you go from there. But can't announce it because you possibly can move it up too. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's super weird that the showcase happens and that blog post comes out for all their games, which I like how they do that. Trailer, showcase, focus on the hype stuff, focus on the quick, we're moving. And then if you want more info, you know where to go. It's on the Xbox Wire. We're posting it all. And then they have podcasts all week about stuff. I like this, how they're doing it. But weird that like that date was included in that first batch because it's out there now, but they're not telling us officially. So we'll see if it stays November 12th. That seems late to me for this. I honestly thought this is a September game.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw it fitting into where Starfield fit. Not that it's a Starfield, but like
Yeah.
an RPG type game. That it made sense to me in September. So if this comes out later in the year, that's interesting to me. Interesting. The trailer got me more intrigued. I like that the story, it seems like you're picking a side for stuff, and there's going to be like your choices are going to matter a little bit. So this trailer got me more excited for Avowed, and but yeah, I need to see more though. Still,
Yeah.
for
It
some reason,
very
I'm like I just haven't seen enough of Avowed. Like I feel better, but there's still something about it where I don't know if maybe it's the art style, maybe it's just there's something about it that is odd to me. I don't know. Very, very interesting though. But I can't imagine November for Avowed. That seems weird. But
I will gladly take it earlier if not. um New
is
reveal. Oh, go ahead.
oh no, I was just coughing.
Oh. New reveal for Rebellion, Sniper Warrior Studio. Um, Atomfall. This was another weird one for me. It looks like a weird. A lot of people have been throwing Fallout around. I guess I don't really see it. It looks like some sort of Chernobyl-esque take on We Happy Few from Compulsion. Um,
Oh, I like that people say Fallout because of like the radio-ish thing, like her and the kind of the radiation noises almost. It's like, yeah, I guess it kind of feels like Fallout, but other than the sounds, I don't really see the comparison. It looked interesting. Like I want to see more though. Very interested by what the story is. I think if you like, it's based off of a real world nuclear disaster, and then it dips into like their own fictional storyline. So that's kind of cool. It's based on something real, and then they do their own thing with it. It showed incredibly weird though. Like the trailer, I thought I was like, what the hell is going on with this game? It felt like a bunch of different genres thrown together. So we'll see what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, from Xbox Wire.
But I do like. Oh yeah, I'm on Xbox right too. I
There
want
you
to
go.
highlight like elements of classic British sci-fi. I'm into that. Like Doctor Who's showing. I've watched all of it, and I'm like dipping my toes into like other not other British stuff. So I'm like, I like kind of British humor, and then now you're talking about more British sci-fi stuff. All right, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. It's kind of fitting for me. So we'll see.
Yeah, it was unique enough. It caught my attention, like something I remember from the showcase. So we will see going forward. Gameplay reveal for Assassin's Creed, which still just looks absolutely fantastic. Still excited for this finally. Hopefully, this is the Assassin's Creed that gets me back into the series. And we got finally gameplay, well, not gameplay, but release date for Stalker 2.
Yeah, finally. What have they been doing?
Yeah, how dare they be fighting for their lives IRL?
Yeah, seriously, dealing with the war.
No, shout
So
out
it's cool that hey, exactly. I was going to say that they're getting out there. The game's coming out there, developed in Ukraine. So cool that it's finally here.
Yeah, support the shit out of them. Game Pass, buy it, do whatever. It's been a journey. Like, I occasionally check in on their stuff they're posting about like studio life, and it's just been a wild, wild time. Obviously, so happy to see this finally coming out.
That's crazy. Yeah, it would be interesting to see if we get any documentary out on it or something. Just because, like, what a unique situation, right? And something that really shouldn't happen.
No,
You know, but it's the world we're in, so you know it's sad but awesome that you know the game's still coming out. So I'm gonna try it out. I haven't played any Stalker. I haven't played the first Stalker game, but hey, it's Game Pass, so why not try it out and see if a game I've never played or franchise I never played, maybe it's something I'm into
yeah, who knows?
on my new Xbox.
Yeah, Kyle. Sarah Bond comes out after and gives us your handheld. She pulls it right out of her pocket, doesn't she?
You know, at one point she touched her jacket.
Just like you
Could you
predicted.
imagine though? Like, could you imagine if she did pull it out to, like on Sunday? That would have been insane. It would have been insane if Sarah Bond.
It's
pulled
the
out
Reggie
Xbox
moment where he
handheld.
pulls out the DS.
I still think that's how they show it off, though. I think you have to show the portability, right? Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
No
No.
handheld news, which is fine. It's expected in the realism department. That was my mic drop prediction.
Yeah.
Blow the ceilings off, the roof off.
Oh my god. Sorry, I just had a random cat come look in my window, and I'm in the basement. That was scary. uh, but yeah, no handheld. We did get new hardware though. All digital Xbox Series X was finally announced and unveiled, with a 1 terabyte, and it's that white. This will be, I have the prices, $450 later this year. All digital Xbox Series S, 1 terabyte. Which, isn't this already out? I thought this was one that was already out.
It's all black.
Okay, so we get a white
yeah,
one.
the Series S terabyte out right now is all black, so they're having the white one come out this year.
And that's for $350. And then a special edition Xbox Series X Galaxy Black Edition with 2 terabytes of storage, which I can't be spending money because I need to look at the future, but god, that's a pretty console. I love the speckle pattern. That'll be out for whopping $600, which at first sounds crazy, but you think of the price of their expansion cards they're selling for like $150 plus, and it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, a terabyte is about $100 of their proprietary tech. Like, and hey, whether you agree with the price or not, like it's their VRR, I think they call it, or no, that's for TVs. Whatever they do, Velocity Architecture, I think that's their little fancy name for their stuff. So it makes sense, right? Like it's $100, and then with no disk drive for the Series X digital one, it's $50 off of the base terabyte 500 one. I'm like, all right, you kind of see their pricing structure, right? It's about $50 for a disk drive and $100 for a terabyte of hard drive. Cool. I find it interesting to know that. It's interesting that they did jump up to $600 though, but a 2 terabyte makes sense. But I mean, it's just for another terabyte of storage. Like there's nothing else about it,
And
right?
the screen speckle paint, Kyle.
Well, yeah, but that's not hundreds of dollars worth. That's like that's probably pennies. It's probably pennies to paint the shell on that thing.
Nah, I love it
I
though.
can speckle mine at home right now. I got white paint. Like I see a can of white paint over there actually. I could speckle mine right now.
Got that black market Series X going on.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, cool. I mean, I think it makes sense. Their digital is kind of the future, and you can cut your prices down a little bit when not everyone is using disc. I bet for every company on the back end, they see the usage rate, and it's like I bet discs and physical media are such a minuscule are being used just so less and less every
It's me.
single year.
I'm the disc and physical.
And there's validity to that though. Like there's people who don't live in areas with broadband internet and reliable internet, so like it is what it is. Like you have to, but we're on the cusp of like we're kind of internet digital life is almost fully there where everyone's online everywhere, but we can't support it fully yet as a world as a country.
Yeah.
So we're getting there, and until it can be everywhere for everyone, like it's not going to be widespread. So I don't think physical media is going to die, but it's going to get harder to buy, and it's going to be after games releases, like with
It's
how many
it's
games are doing
becoming
that,
like the new vinyl, essentially, where it's like the niche like collector thing to do.
which is like I get like how you I get why business way you do that. Oh, X amount of people bought our digital one. Oh, that means so many people are going to buy physical then, and they're like, okay.
Well, sure happens. We saw Summer Game Fest Friday. Alan Wake 2 is getting a physical release finally a year later. Like,
Yeah, which is like yeah, it's so interesting on if it's like a. I wonder why.
but Xbox did promise new hardware for the year. There's your new hardware. Hopefully, not the end of it.
Well, she
I
did. I mean, they did say we're working hard on the next generation.
Yep.
And I think that I don't know sooner than we might all think.
I've
That's a bigger topic probably for another episode.
Yeah,
but-
I fully feel that we have another event sometime this year. If not a showcase, there's got to be something else later.
Towards the end of summer, honestly, makes a lot of sense to like another developer direct style thing to finish up the fall and get us to the next developer direct. It makes sense with what they're doing to have 3 showcases or 3 shows: winter, summer, and then fall.
One could hope.
So we'll see. I mean, but they also have Gamescom, and then they have the Game Awards where they could do stuff. So we'll see. It feels like Xbox is firing on all cylinders, especially with their one more thing.
One more thing. Straight up one more thing. They dropped it as a one more thing. Going in, we got new Gears of War, which was rumored. Gears 6 was rumored. Which, watching this, my mind wasn't working. I thought this was still Gears 6, and I even made the comment, I was like, oh, they really made JD look more like Marcus. God damn it, because it's just Marcus. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the watch party was like, oh yeah, Gears, and it was like, oh, and then when you see baby Marcus, and it's like right here, or I'm delayed on the video, so I can't. But when you like the first clear shot, and it's like, oh, this is young Marcus Phoenix. That man, everyone was like, oh, and it was like you start hearing like E-Day, and it's like, oh man, what's this? I was like, no way. Wow, I didn't even think this was a possibility. As someone who played Gears of War but didn't get like, I'm not super following everything and into it, but I've played them all, so like I know about E-Day, and I don't know, I did not expect an E-Day prequel game giving us both Marcus Phoenix and Dom back as babies. That's just so cool.
Yeah.
And then the trailer had Mad World playing. Oh my god. Oh, excellent trailer. That is in-game assets, not CG. Suck it,
Jeff
Keighley. That sucked. That was such this poor guy. He just, was sharing, hey, this cool CG trailer made by Blur for Gears of War looks awesome. And then you have developers, hey, this is not CG. This is made in Unreal 5 with in-game assets.
He got community noted over that now. If you go to that, there's a community note.
Yeah. You feel for him, especially after everyone's like, Summer Games Fest kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Which he told everyone. There's not a lot. I thought Summer Games Fest was perfectly average. Nothing crazy, nothing bad. Like whatever. But yeah, poor guy. But damn, this game is gonna look great based on this is in-game assets from using Unreal 5. Like that's insane.
Yeah, as you said, it is E-Day, 14 years before the first game even, which is honestly the thing I'm most excited about. Like, just this ending scene with the, like, live, vibrant city in the background, having a Gears set in that compared to all the rundown stuff we're used to, and watching all that sort of deteriorate over time, like, that's...
On Unreal 5.
Yeah, the possibilities of that, I'm so down for.
Yeah. No, I and then the story stuff too, like, I get that Dom and Marcus are close, but, like, we know they survived this, right?
Mhm.
They have a bunch of other games to go do. So, like, I mean, is it going to be a squad thing, kind of like Halo Reach, and like their whole squad just keeps getting decimated, or is it going to be a story of two brothers, and just like gritty and like they're just fighting together? I don't know. I'm so intrigued by what they're going to do with this story wise, and it's just going to look beautiful. We've been waiting for the coalition, right? We've been waiting for Gears. Gears 5 looked phenomenal when it came out, and I am so this is going to be, yeah, this is instant day one. What a fantastic one more thing. this is the definition of one more thing. We had you mentioned we had the leaks. People thought, I mean, the one leak I remember was the Gears of War prequel, not prequel, but the remake of like 1, 2, and 3, and they're going to put it on other platforms. And it's like, nope, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
It's like, hell yeah. It always felt weird that why would they remake? But no, they're not. They're doing this. So cool.
Yeah. And the way they're talking about it, too, like, hey, this is, like, day one of shit happening. They're not used to fighting locusts. They're not used to their tactics and stuff, and they want it to be more, not nitty-gritty, but, like, the little fights against normal drones that you're now one-shotting years later are gonna feel like actual moments to build up to, and just power scale from there as they keep experiencing more things. And it's so early, even in the trailer, your Lancer's there, but it's got the bayonet that they threw back to in some of the other games. There's no chainsaw yet. Like, it's the
Yeah.
early days and the stuff they can kind of dive into. And I always hear people there on like a horror Gears of War again. I feel like this could really tune into that and be that scary, life-threatening type thing, and scale back the power scaling that we have now, where you're unstoppable essentially.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you get to strip it all down and new people to the game won't know better and you can get to the horror roots, the more like, man, these locusts are terrifying, right? And then for us who've played it before, yeah, you strip all those stuff down and you just like a justifiable reason. This is before anyone knows who the locust is, right? This is emergence day. This is when they first emerge. So no one knows how to fight them. So it makes sense. Like maybe we get a reason for why I mean, we know the Lancer is cool as hell, the chainsaw thing, but like there's reasons. Why did they put that on the gun? Are we going to see how that develops? It's super cool. I'm so down for them to be able to give us something that people have wanted apparently with they wanted to see E-Day or know more about it. And now we get to do it. Get it.
Say,
I want it now.
I'm just
Did they
saying.
give it?
No release window, no nothing.
Thank you.
If you need a co-op partner when this comes out, I may know a guy.
Oh shit! Duh.
Yeah. But one more thing, and then dove into Call of Duty Deep Dive. Not going to dive into that. That's it's a whole separate thing. Solid showcase, literally amazing. And like I said at the beginning, when you think about the stuff that wasn't here, Double Fine still off doing weird Tim Schafer things. Everwild still somewhere. Clockwork Revolution from last year still doing whatever. Odie, Kojima's cooking something in his basement. I'm not sure what he's doing, but there's so much still on top of the stuff we got at this showcase, and it's a wonderful time to be a gamer.
Yeah, ultimately, yeah, I think that's why I do appreciate Xbox is at least they're they're telling us that, and then they're doing it with Call of Duty and other stuff, making it available for everyone and the same experience everywhere as much as they can. So I think that's positive for us as gamers, and if we can keep executives like accountable when they say that stuff. That's what matters, right? Like listen to what people, developers and executives are saying, and hold them accountable to what they say, not what you personally want. Just because Starfield doesn't have a loading animation to a planet doesn't make it an awful game.
Instead of the black screen loading animation, they want the white cloud loading animation, Kyle. Come on.
Yeah, that's all it is, and it's like that's fine. I get it, but I'm not a game developer, but I can tell you there's reasons why they can't do that, and if they did, it would lead to other things happening. So like it's a give and take. Like, geez, you can't have everything you want. It's life.
Yeah. No,
So
I'm.
I hope people just like let's have fun and be hype about the games for what they are, right? For what Call of Duty is, and not what we want it to be. And that goes for every game.
Yeah, I'm now more than ever. I'm reinvigorated. I'm hyped to be doing games again. The past few years, like big things have come and gone. I get into stuff, but like I still spend most of my time playing old stuff. And now more than ever, there's so much stuff that I'm interested in, things that I want to know more about, things I want to dive into. Like I say, it feels like there's a weird shift that happened between this showcase and just the weekend in general. Like there's an overall excitement in the air about things happening, about things coming out. It's just great.
Well, that's
It feels good.
Summer Game Fest, baby. I mean, it's not just us as fans who got a bunch of stuff, but the industry also got to meet up and talk to each other and hang out and network and show off the things they're working on. And then they get to go and make content later, about it all. It's like there's so much around gaming that this is the time of year it is, right? So it's exciting. It's awesome. Make sure you're going to play games too, not just the games in the showcase, but go try out indie games. And then that just helps the whole ecosystem be better. So
Yes.
try new stuff. Hopefully, there's games in this showcase that can encourage you to try other games and other things.
With that, though, my voice hurts. It's a Tuesday. I'm sure you got stuff to be doing. We're now on our longest show ever. Unless you got anything else to say, we will be back Sunday, normal time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard. Probably still covering stuff coming out of the showcase, Summer Game Fest in general. More details are coming out. But until then, this was DellaQ24. God, I hope I got that right. We will be back Sunday. Twitch.tv/Badlands Backlogs. Check out Kyle. Kyle the Fish 30, pretty much everywhere. Go look at him sitting in an egg, supposedly, allegedly. We'll be back next week. Peace.